the plane.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action.
This is Mark Waid, writer of Superman Birthright.
And you're listening to The Krypton Report.
And you're listening to Krypton Report.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's the Krypton Report!
The All Things Kryptonian podcast, including Superman and Supergirl.
We discuss games, movies, cartoons, TV shows, and comics.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Welcome to the Krypton Report, DC Fandom Part 1. That's right, as if you weren't aware of it, DC split their amazing online fandom event into two separate days. The second part coming up September 12th, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this one was more focused, the first part more of just some video games and the Warner Brothers film side with a few other panels here and there. And there's so much to cover. So much. And I couldn't talk to myself because that's boring. So I had to bring along the other two. The mighty, the magnificent, the marvelous Mr. James Cole III.
Yo.
What up?
Yes.
and then finding his way through Gotham, through the darkest streets. That man, that marvelous wonder, that gorgeous
Taken
guy.
down by the Condiment King.
Brian. What is up, fellas?
Hey, I ran out of some mustard earlier. Can I borrow some of yours there, Tyler?
Oh, yeah, mustard is good. So we got like a couple little news things to hit real quick before we dive into fandom. First thing I want to say is last night I had pre-ordered the digital of Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Nice.
Just because I needed some Superman in my life. You know, it's been dark, depressing with just the world and just kind of stressful. You know, some personal stuff going down, kind of stressful and things. And it dropped this morning / last night. So Sunday at midnight, I get a thing on iTunes saying my pre-order is ready. I haven't got to watch it today because I was going to watch it with the kids, but we didn't get home till later. But yeah, so that dropped. But I did happen to just check it out real quick and watch the what comes next. And what I found was interesting was the preview for the next animated release isn't for Batman Death in the Family. It's for one we didn't even know was coming, which is Batman Soul of the Dragon.
Batman Kung Fu Hustle.
I mean, basically, it has Bronze Tiger, voiced by Michael Jai White, which is amazing. It has Richard Dragon.
From the Arrowverse is Bronze Tiger.
Yeah. We have Richard Dragon, who's voiced by Mark Dacascos, who, if no one knows who that is, he was in John Wick 3, right? Or was it 2? It was 3. It was in John Wick 3.
3.
We have Lady Shiva, voiced by Kelly Hu. And then what's ironic is the man who is voicing Batman is David Giovanni. I can't pronounce names. You people know this. He played the main character on Grimm as the Grimm. He was the actor that I had wanted to be. He's the actor I wanted to be Batman on the CW. 1, because I always thought he would make a good Batman when I watched Grimm. 2, he's a television actor. And 3, his wife is already on the CW as Lois Lane. So, you know, he could just kind of like, hey, I'm going to go work on the CW where she is. But he's voicing Batman on this, which is just kind of funny because I've been wanting to be Batman. Cobra is the villain, and it's going to have a very 70s Bruce Lee flair. So it'll be cool. You know, it's one of those that's produced by Bruce Timm. Kind of makes me think of like Gods and Monsters, where like it was good. I've only ever watched it once. It was Bruce Timm, but it was very, you know, one-off. But I support the films, so I'm definitely gonna be checking it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, you know, because I think oftentimes we complain about Batman movies not showing him being a detective. And I think the other thing that and there's a movie coming out that really shows that he might be a detective. But I think often we also forget of how great he is at fighting and martial arts and different forms of combat. So I'm excited to see, even though it's an animation, I'm excited to see what they're going to put together. I think it's going to be something really cool.
I agree. It'll be fun. It'll be different, even though it's Batman, because we talk about, it seems like every movie that's released is Superman or Batman. This flares it and spices it up a little. So
I am a little. I mean, nothing against Batman and Superman. I would like to see, some Flash, some Green Lantern somewhere one of these days. I'm with you.
yeah, I mean, we're on a podcast called Krypton Report, but all in all, I would like to see some of the other DC characters. I mean, they are wonderful, great characters that I do love and cherish. So,
Yeah, just because we have an affinity for the best doesn't mean that a lot of them aren't great as well.
Exactly. So that's something that just kind of popped on my radar last night. So that was cool, The other thing was there was the big release for the free Joker documentary. Did you guys get a chance to watch it yet?
No, I didn't.
Yes.
They kind of showed an abridged version during Fandome, which was interesting, or they showed the whole thing. I'm not sure, because I kind of walked away during it and did a couple of things. But it was free on iTunes. I'm not sure where else, and it was cool. Like, it was really cool. Called "Put on a Happy Face," and like I told my wife, I'm like, I don't think they made anything new for that documentary other than the voiceover, because every interview or little thing that I saw, I think I've seen in other things before, other documentaries, other news segments, which just proves to me how quickly they could put one of these together for every DC character. It's just like something exciting to see, especially for ones that are in the movies, and something like that could have been on DC Universe, because they made that really great one for Aquaman when the film came out, and then they took it away.
Yeah,
And
I was frustrated that
the Shazam one's still up there, but it's crazy that that was an original thing that be great to just kind of revisit, and it's gone. But yeah, it was a cool little documentary on the Joker. And then
I kind of felt it was. I kind of felt the documentary was kind of like a bunch of different clips from other like Batman documentaries or interviews that they just kind of like put together really quick.
That's exactly
I
what
would
it
have
was.
liked. Exactly, yeah. And it's just a half hour. I mean, I would have liked. I don't know. I would have liked more sitting down with Jerry Robinson and being a 17-year-old kid, talking with Bill Finger and Bob and like how that relationship made and getting the idea from The Man Who Laughs and like I don't know. I just would have liked a little bit more. I
Yes.
thought it was kind of a little too short, but
I will agree.
it was okay. I mean, I didn't pay for it, so that made it okay.
I agree. And I also feel like I don't know why they've never done a Batman documentary the way they did the Look Up in the Sky Superman documentary. So it just makes me wonder, like, if Batman's like their cash cow, like, where's that documentary? And you know what? Maybe there's something being worked on that's being prepped for next year. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We don't have enough time.
Well, Batman's everywhere every year. They're like, do we need another documentary? Batman art
yes.
sells.
We need a good documentary that tells about, how he's created, his history, and why Bill Finger is important. And Bob Kane was overrated, but whatever.
Isn't that Bill on Batman or whatever?
Yeah, it is. But we
Bill and Ted?
but we need that.
No, not Bill and Ted, Brian.
It's not that time yet, Brian. Not that time.
Bogus.
It's later this week, man.
Excellent.
All right. So right before we start recording, we found out that they're going to do a 2-part animated Long Halloween movie. This feels like deja vu. I don't know why, but it does. And Brian and I were just talking about this the other night about, why we like the Long Halloween and what's cool about it. And a 2-part film, it's pretty exciting.
They definitely need to do it in 2 parts, not just one.
So, I'm excited. I mean, that's all we know. Like, there's no voice cast. We haven't seen any animation style or anything for it. It'll probably be a film that will lean back towards the idea of trying to animate more in of the style of the actual artist, which is pretty cool. Which is, that's exciting stuff. I look forward to that. So, and more to that as it comes up. Like, literally, we just learned about this right before we hit the mic. So, but now let's talk about the good stuff, the chunk. We're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, DC Fandome. Boys, I'm just going to say I was so excited to sit in my chair. So my sister-in-law took the kids, and my wife's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to sit in that chair, and I'm going to watch Fandom. And
all day.
Pretty much. We had to run to the store.
Question.
We had to run to the store. I literally had my phone and my earphones on, like walking through the store, so I didn't miss a beautiful second. Now, one thing I will say is, even though I'm sitting there in my chair in my house watching something, I had on a Superman hat, a Superman shirt, my Flash boxers. I had on my Batman gym shorts and my Shazam socks. I was decked in my DC, wrapped up in my Justice League blanket, watching Fandom because I wanted to celebrate. Eating my special Green Lantern Hershey bar. And if I could have ran to the gas station before I got home, I would have grabbed me a couple bottles of the Nestle bottled water with the DC characters on it. That's how committed I was to supporting DC while watching this event alone in my house. I will say one thing before we jump in is, like, I really wish they would have broadcasted Fandom or something through DC Universe, like a portal, or like on their YouTube channel or something, just because, like, for me, I had to watch it by, mirroring my iPad to the TV. And I'm sure, Brian, you did the same, didn't you?
Yeah, I had no other choice.
I knew. I had sent an expletive to you guys because I was upset that that the video wasn't streaming on Microsoft Edge on my Xbox.
And that, to me, that feels like that's an annoyance.
I wanted it on my TV.
To me that's like a hindrance of,
I'm surprised it wasn't live on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Facebook Watch or something. I don't know.
It was like a hindrance
to
actually being able to enjoy it on my TV. Like, I want to watch on my TV. I want to sit on a computer and watch this,
We should have been able to go into DC Universe, click a, new to DC Universe, or big tab, boom, watch it right on the app. That's what should have happened. And, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I had a very interesting glitch that happened to me. I don't know if you can call it a glitch.
They couldn't do that though for DC Universe because that's only available to us. worldwide, that wouldn't have been feasible.
I mean,
Well, should have been like
they would have had to have multiple outs.
but I'm saying if they did it through like YouTube, and like there's a thing in DC Universe to go onto YouTube or something like DC's official page would have made, would have made a lot of sense. But anyways, so let's get into it. All right. So the first thing that was weird to me was Aisha Tyler, who had been advertising, comes out and introduced all the other multiple hosts. And then she just disappeared. Like, I thought she was like the thing, like I was waiting for her, like, yeah, Aisha, what's up? And then she was gone.
Yeah, she was definitely, she was only there a few times. Beginning and the end, mostly.
And it's all pre-recorded, which at first I was kind of, but you know what? I liked it.
They did a good job putting it together for it all being pre-recorded.
Because everything came out clean. It was fun. The graphics, the way that it moved between panels and people, everything felt amazing. I mean, it definitely was the kind of experience that I think we needed as DC fans, and something exciting
it was
going on
pretty
right now.
wholly unique. It was pretty wholly unique for DC over anything. Like, I mean, this was with it being a very uneventful year. This was damn near a highlight of the year.
And speaking of just being uneventful, man, I saw some people say some comments that were just like upset and frustrated about what not getting certain things or this. And I'm like, you do realize that nothing's being filmed and produced right now. Like, we are lucky that, for example, the Suicide Squad finished filming before COVID.
Yeah. Or that DC was able to put this together by, setting up, getting all these green screen shots of all these different people doing their interactions and then the Zoom calls and everything else.
So it's just one of those things, like, they pulled it off nicely, and you should just be grateful. And we'll talk about it later, where there's a certain announcements that people are just like, what, that's it? I'm like, yeah, like, what do you expect? They haven't been able to do anything. But we're going to dive in. So this thing launched at...
The world's been closed for the last 6 months.
So this sucker launched at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, which is where we all are, with the Wonder Woman 1984 panel. And I'm going to just say this real quick. I don't know why they didn't combine all the Wonder Woman stuff in one large panel. But we're going to talk about it clustered together, because we got a new Wonder Woman 1984 poster shortly before Fandom started. Did you guys check that sucker out?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
No.
I can send it to you.
I mean, really colorful. The gold suit, her flying up. I mean, it wasn't anything extravagant.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I mean, it sells the movie. It's what we've seen before for the most part, but it's just something new, a little different, So it was reminiscent of the Man of Steel poster.
Yep.
Except that was just clouds. He was flying up. It wasn't the 80s neon and all the colors.
I'll say that.
Oh, that poster's dope.
It is really neat. How it was cool, the panel, to see everyone talk. I got to see my man Chris Pine. I love Chris Pine. I've said multiple times on this show, he should have been Hal Jordan, like way back when they made the first Green Lantern movie. But it's cool. It's cool. I'll take Steve Trevor. I really wanted him to be there more. But I'm glad that he was there on the panel. It was nice to see, Patty Jenkins and the whole cast. I liked how they did their backgrounds. Like, it was like the reminiscent of the poster. Not as many panels did well with the backgrounds.
No, it looked like the panel was definitely set up. I don't know, more plot. Like the background looked like when Patty and Gal were sitting in front of that background at that Brazil con not too long, or I wouldn't say not too long ago, but they were sitting in front of a thing that looks just like that.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I mean, I really enjoyed seeing them put forth just the effort to make that panel look very polished. So that was, I enjoyed that. I liked seeing that Linda Carter popped in and talked to him.
That was awesome.
And, we got Patty and Gal and Linda, and then Kristen Wiig was kind of like losing her stuff over Linda being there, which was kind of cool to see how much of a fan she is of Linda.
Yeah, she was geeking out.
So, I mean, that was some really good, just fun things from the panel. I learned that there are people in this world who ask stupid questions, and they're the ones that made it onto TV. Was there some fun times?
Who's responsible for picking? Who's responsible for picking the questions that they answered? Honestly,
I mean, some of them I'm just like, seriously, like
they're like, we've got 20 minutes. Like, let's give them like the most simple questions people are asking, so that way we can just get through a bunch of them, and then we can show, we can show Linda Carter, we can show the trailer, and then move on to the next thing.
Did you have fun on set? Was there some fun stories that happened behind the scenes? Yeah. Yes, there was.
I mean, that is questions that people ask at cons, though, too. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're just kind of like
up in there. They get up in their cosplay, and then they wait in line for their seats, and then for the questions to be able to answer, they take all this time, and then that's what they ask.
It's like, could you be more generic and just say like, duh? Like, yeah. Of course we had fun on set. Like, Bryan had the best one, like, after a couple of panels of me being like, why are these people getting this? He goes, yeah, Bryan here, does Alfred know that Bruce Wayne is Batman? And I'm just like, yes, those are the caliber of questions I feel like I'm getting. But it was a good panel. We also got a quick like side story panel that next year is Wonder Woman's 80th, which I thought it was this year. 80 years of Wonder Woman. I thought it was this year, but I guess it wasn't. So
I'm pretty sure she came out in 1941. Her 750 came out this year, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure her Sensational was in 1941.
Okay, maybe it was. I feel like I've been lost in a time, like, just blah. So, because we had a nice little panel of we saw an image of what the Wonder Woman 80th year logo was going to look like, and that was presented by Gal, Patty, and Linda Carter. So that's really cool, and it also makes you kind of wonder, like, man, so what are they going to do for Wonder Woman's 80 year? There's the movie's coming out now, so
yeah, 1941.
So what are they going to do for
All-Star Comics number 8, released October 21st, 1941.
Now, did you watch like when they did the like the game or whatever, where like they had the cast on there playing a game? It was like a detective game.
It was going on my phone. I was not paying attention to that.
Yeah, that's when I was in the store.
That was really boring. It was kind of stupid.
They had a couple of things during the whole thing that were just like, okay.
Kind of fillerish, if we're going to use like a word, like felt really a lot more filler than anything else, which kind of bums me out. But yeah, that's kind of what it was. But anyways, so let's get to the meat, the part we wanted. We got a trailer, the second official trailer. Now, before we talk about the trailer real quick, how are you guys feeling about Wonder Woman? Are you still really hyped? Or do you feel like some of the hype is kind of...
I can't wait to frickin' see it, man.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
I wish I would have seen it back in November. I wish I would have seen it in June. Kind of sucks we still can't see it in October.
I mean, it's cool because it comes out on Jania's birthday. But how are you feeling towards it?
Still, as it says, it's still tentatively set for that date.
Well, I mean, all the theaters are opening this week. So, I mean, right now, everything is still, like, has their dates locked as if, New Mutants opens this weekend.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not allowed to go to the theater as this weekend, so.
Yeah, we know. We love you anyway, so I'm sorry.
I'm managing. I'm doing better, so.
Oh, I forgot to mention Venus Williams stopped by and, in the panel and dropped in for a hello. So that was, that was nice to see. That was
pretty cool. She genuinely seems like a very strong, like a very good fan of Wonder Woman's.
All right.
We just watched the Wonder Woman trailer. What do you think of the trailer? I think Harley was good now.
And Suicide Squad, but what about Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman was good. I like when Wonder Woman runs and she gets Cheetah with her armor. That's my favorite part.
You like seeing Cheetah?
Yeah.
Do you think Cheetah looks cool?
Yeah.
Do you think she looks scary, Sayla? What do you think?
Her looks scary.
Her looks scary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like Wonder Woman's armor. She just looks scary. I know.
Weirdo. But you like the gold armor?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it looks cool.
Yeah, you know when that comes out?
What? October
2nd. You know what happens on October 2nd?
Mommy's birthday.
That's Mommy's birthday.
Yeah. And we're going to see Wonder Woman.
But Wonder Woman's in the kitchen right now. Ready to talk about the trailer?
Oh yeah, I'm watching it.
So as you're watching it, what stood out to you? Like, this trailer, it was really cool. I liked, we're seeing young Diana again. I don't know if Robin Wright Penn's appearing in it at all.
I think she is.
But that's one of the actor people. We see her riding the lightning again, and we don't get any kind of like 80s song. Like in the first trailer, how we got Blue Monday?
Yeah.
But we get Maxwell Lord broadcasting from the White House. And it's all the 80s. And, I feel like this film is going to be like the end of 80s nostalgia. Like, we're all done with the 80s now. Like, the whole 80s kind of like recourse has run its course, and this was like the last leg of 80s kind of fun. Like, we're really ready for 90s. But, we get some lines with Barbara, and which is like her talking about wanting to be an apex predator, and then her saying things about to Wonder Woman how everything's happens for her.
Yeah. You've had everything while people like me have had nothing.
The most interesting shot to me of Barbara Minerva is when she fights Diana, and it's like her face before she attacks, and she says something in her what looks more like her second cheetah phase, where she looks like she has power, but she's human.
Yeah.
Diana riding the clouds with her lasso is pretty amazing looking, and so is her blocking the bullets with the lasso. But I mean, the crux of it really isn't till Barbara shows up, and what appears is going to be the third act. That's full on cheetah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a step-by-step process. However she decides she wants to be, the apex predator, she says she doesn't want to be like anybody else, meaning she probably doesn't want to be like Diana or like Wonder Woman. But it looks like she has steps to becoming full-fledged cheetah. And she looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, she does. She straight up looks awesome. But it looks like
I think she looks really good.
Cheetah's not going to actually be full on cheetah till the end, when Diana's in her gold armor. But I mean, we could be wrong. That could happen earlier in the film, for all we know. But yeah, I yesterday was kind of a weird day, anyways. But I'm excited. I feel like in some ways I'm just kind of like, I really want to see it. I really wish it was out. It feels like the movie that we keep getting teased that hasn't happened, and need something here. But Brian, you've been awfully quiet. That's short for quiet. Take it away, Brian.
I think she looks great. I was a little worried that all we were going to get out of Cheetah was just some chick in like a cheetah leather jacket. I was worried that she was going to look kind of cheesy. But she looks very cat-like. Her agility and her movements and the CGI looks really good. I think Kristen Wiig is going to do a pretty dang good job. But what stood out most to me in the trailer is it seems like Maxwell Lord. It seems like Maxwell Lord is somehow has a plan to give people what they want, or it appears that he's giving them what they want. So the resurgence of Steve Trevor, I believe, is part of that Maxwell Lord plan here.
I cannot confirm or deny, because I think I read like a summary of the leaked script when I was reading one day, so I'm not I'm not commenting on anything right now, other than what I actually physically see.
But I'm really intrigued by it.
The voiceover from Maxwell talking about you can have what you dream for, da 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 da, and then at the same time, Diana sees, comes face to face with Trevor again. Kind of seems like that goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
it was cut like that for a reason.
But I still feel like Tyler said a bit ago. I still feel that they really wasted a casting choice in not making Chris Pine Hal Jordan, and I'm going to keep saying it forever and ever. Because someone else could have been Steve Trevor. Chris Pine should have been Green Lantern.
Yeah. Because
he'd have just been playing Captain Kirk all over again.
And I'm okay with that.
That's he probably wanted something different.
I'm okay with him just playing Captain Kirk all over again.
He doesn't need to.
Okay, I'm okay.
I mean, I'd be okay if he was playing Hal as well, but I mean, they choose what they want to do, how the course their career takes.
Well, they chose poorly.
All right.
Unlikely, with as popular as he is.
I love Chris Pine. I think he's great. I'll watch anything. I've watched some his early like indie films that he did, Blind Dating, Small Town Saturday Night. You guys are probably both like, what are you talking about? Exactly. So the next major event, I'm kind of going on my notes, is like the flow of how the panels work. So we're not jumping like major to major. I'm just kind of going down with the panels of this. So there was a lot of panels. I missed some. And I know we're going to miss a couple of things. Like I didn't get to watch and take notes as much as I wanted to on everything. So I'm hitting everything I could have. Was WB Games Montreal, which was the surprise game that nobody really knew what they were bringing, probably blew us all away.
You're damn right it did. You're damn right.
With Gotham Knights. So as we've been able to kind of piece together, we believe this is tied in the Arkham universe, correct?
Well, so like Arkham Origins was like loosely connected to the Arkham series, and it seems like this one may be loosely connected at the end of the Arkham series.
Okay.
With the way that Batman blows up the mansion and everything at the end of Arkham Knight.
Okay.
But they're like loosely based, loosely connected. It's not necessarily like this would be the fifth game in the series and Arkham Origins would be the prequel game of the series.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can see that Bruce is talking to them at the beginning of the trailer. So this is like, I don't know, the start of maybe a new trilogy. It's like a spin-off,
I like
spin-off
that
of the events.
So the game focuses on Barbara as Batgirl, which in Arkham she was Oracle. So that right there, I was like, huh. And then we have Robin. And are we thinking it's Damian or Tim?
No, it's got to definitely be Tim, because if you watch the gameplay trailer, I hope you guys watched that with Mr. Freeze and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You see him in the Red Robin costume, so it's got to be Tim.
Well, I also think that that's going to be part of the either multi skins or multi costume character, maybe even development for your character.
And here's one thing I'm going to point out.
Yeah, I agree.
Recently, a lot of times Damien's depicted as having his sword, but also the little tease at the end of the game trailer makes me wonder if it's Damien because of his connection in that story. We'll get there in a second. Then we have Dick Grayson as Nightwing, which, awesome.
Woo!
And then we have Jason as Red Hood. And that's the one, when I saw that, I was like, I messaged you guys like, wait a minute, what happened at the end of Arkham?
Yeah, and also that version of Jason had a branded J for the Joker. He had a branded J on his face, and that's not the character design they use in this.
So that's what I was kind of thinking.
Oh, good point. Yeah, he has a big scar. He has a big scar in this one. Yeah.
We just watched the
Trailer for Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. It's going to be really cool. It has Jason on it, Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl.
And who's Jason?
Red Hood.
Yeah, and who do you like?
Red Hood.
Yeah. What about you, Sayla?
I like Batgirl.
You like Batgirl? Mm-hmm. So you're going to try and play the game with Mommy and Daddy?
Yeah.
You going to be Batgirl?
I'm going to be Red Hood.
Who's Mommy going to be?
Robin.
Who's Daddy going to be?
Nightwing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Robin. All right. I'm going to be Batgirl.
So that's kind of why I was like leaning towards like, wait, maybe it's not tied into it. Because I almost feel like it would have been like Arkham, Gotham Knights or something. But they did say it has a co-op mode. And we did see the split screen side by side. So I'm really hoping that's co-op, that two people can play while sitting in the same room with each other. because Solomon has already told me that I'll be Nightwing, he's Red Hood, Sissy's Batgirl, and Mommy is Robin.
Nice.
So he's
The
already...
kid knows what he wants.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants.
Yeah, he does. So I don't argue with him. I just nod my head. So yeah, he's already laid that claim. So, I miss playing games like that, kind of side by side, that are, more advanced than, say, just playing a Lego game.
Yeah. That's really the only co-op side-by-side, couch co-op games you can play these days.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
now it did say 2021, which was kind of a bummer, but, that's not too far off. I was hoping maybe it'd be like coming December. Because it makes me wonder, will this game be on PS4 and PS5? Because it didn't state, like in the final credits, it didn't state what system. And I point that out because when we get to the other game, it did say PS5.
And Xbox Series X. So the next game is a next-gen game.
So I'm wondering if this one's going to be one that comes on PS4 and PS5. But I'm hoping, because, I do want to get this game, and I don't know how soon or when or whatever a PS5 will be doable.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be on both, but with it coming out in 2021.
2021.
Suicide Squad 22.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look at the gameplay trailer. The gameplay trailer is very next gen, and with the weather machine and Mr. Freeze, it's pumping out 4K graphics, but it's not as crisp looking in the cutscenes as the Suicide Squad trailer is. So I'm thinking that the Suicide Squad game is built more for PS5, whereas this is built for both.
See, I agree with you, because the Suicide Squad, the title card at the end said PS5 and then whatever the Xbox
Series X
is. So, and like you said, and we'll talk more about that, but yeah, the Suicide Squad game threw me when it said 2022. And I'm just like, when you say that, it doesn't sound bad until I say that, look at it like my kid's going to be 7 when this game comes out. My daughter will be 5.
And probably technically still not old enough to play that game.
They'll probably end up playing it a little bit after I do, because my kids are amazing. But so yeah, they got my money for this game, and I'm not that big of a gamer, and that's kind of why I enjoy it. Like, I've played more games recently. I've been playing through the Telltale by myself, but Solomon's been so interested in wanting to play the games that he's got me, when we hang out in the basement, we're playing Arkham Origins. And then when we're hanging out upstairs, we're playing Arkham Knight. Because he likes to, we kind of take turns. Like, I'll do a lot of the stuff, but then when it comes to fighting, I'll give him the controller, and let him play. So he's really kind of pushed me into playing more of the games. So
awesome.
The next panel was...
I got Arkham. I bought the Return to Arkham thing today for $10, so I got both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City for my Xbox One, and Jimmy's never seen Arkham Asylum, so started playing that one because that came out when he was a baby.
See, I played Arkham City. We had Asylum and City for our PS3, and I played Arkham City, and then we got Arkham Origins, and that was kind of like I called it my Christmas game, because it's set at Christmas, so I always would play it little by little every December. And then we ended up having to sell the PS3 that we had. And then, last year, I found some dude selling a PS3 and 2 controllers and a game for $50. So I bought that because Jania has all of her old Assassin's games. And then I rebought Arkham Origins. And then that was the only one I rebought because then for Christmas last year,
Hey, it's a great game, man.
I got the Arkham, like you said, the Return to Arkham for PS4. So I got that that has Asylum and City on it, and eventually I'll go back and replay those because I like having them. They're beautiful games to look at too. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm happy with Xbox because they made some of the Arkham games backwards compatible, like Origins and City, but I never had Asylum on it. So now that I got Return to Arkham, I have all 4 of my games. I can play all of them on my Xbox One.
that's dope.
Yeah.
The next panel that came up was the Multiverse 101, which was just cool to watch because it was Jim Lee for DC Comics, Walter Hamada for DC Films, the new head of DC Films. And then they had basically DC TV man, Greg Berlanti, because there's only I think one DC series that he doesn't produce, and that's Pennyworth.
Right.
Everything else, he produces.
Well, he didn't produce Gotham. I mean, there's a number he hasn't produced, a few. But,
Well, yeah, but Gotham's off the air.
Yeah.
Krypton's off the air.
Exactly.
Constantine
Gotham's
is off
done.
the air.
Right.
Everything that he hasn't produced is off the air other than Pennyworth. And then the one show of his that is off the air was Arrow, which ended. They wrapped it up, so it wasn't canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, they ended it. Exactly.
But,
That tells you all you need to know.
So it was just cool to listen to them all talk about, where they're at now with the idea of characters, and the biggest thing being that the idea of they talked about the Ezra Miller cameo in Crisis, and they even pointed out the fact that Grant is the one who names Ezra the Flash. So that was just cool to see them kind of talk. There really wasn't any big reveal or big deal with it, but it was just a kind of a neat thing to see them kind of talk about the synergy they're trying to create with the different branches.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really cool because they were talking about how everything that has previously come out existed, and this stuff, it all exists. It can branch anywhere.
Was it Walter Hamada
they're not limited,
who talked about the idea that yes, they have the Ben Affleck Batman on this Earth, then they have Joker that's a standalone over on another Earth, and then they have the new Matt Reeves Batman is on its own Earth. So just addressing the multiverse, and basically by having Ezra, just kind of really just signifies that it is all tied together. Yes, you had Robert Wolf or Knox, from
Batman '89.
From Batman '89, kind of on Crisis, but that movie's been done and over with.
And what was really cool was they actually used Crisis as the linchpin for this whole panel. Because how they showed so many movies and they had so many cameos and so many different Earths, they used Crisis in a lot of the scenes, a lot of the cut scenes as the linchpin to how DC can be this expanded multiverse that all these people, they can have multiple versions of the same character across different mediums because they're just they're in different universes.
And it's just what we like to call beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, it's beautiful. And then after that, they had it was kind of like a Flash panel, It had Andy Muschietti and the scriptwriter and his wife, who's his producer. I can't remember her name. And then Ezra Miller.
No, actually, from what I heard, Barbara Muschietti is not his wife; it's his sister.
Oh, dang! I take that back.
That's what I heard recently. I'm not positive, but that's what I heard recently. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I'm so used to Emma Thomas is Christopher Nolan's wife and producer.
Deborah Snyder.
Deborah Snyder,
yeah.
So it's just kind of those things that just kind of slipped in there on me.
Right.
So I apologize. But what do you call it? Crap. But anyways, the coolest thing was the Flash. Like, they're talking about they're moving forward the movie, and that, you know, Andy has some ideas. And the best things that we've learned about the Flash. Number one, we have concept art for the new suit. The new suit is going to have like energy kind of looks like it's going through it, and that this suit is built by his friend Bruce Wayne, who is going to be played by Bryan. Who's playing Bruce Wayne?
Michael Keaton?
No. James, your turn.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is back.
Yay!
That's his Batman. Yes.
Yeah, we know Michael Keaton's
right,
supposed to
that's my
appear, but I still feel like Affleck's going to be a cameo, and I feel like Michael Keaton's going to be a cameo because there hasn't been more come out of that. We'll just kind of wait
Don't
and
you
see.
do that? Don't you say that? No.
You know, we'll
I
kind
think
of.
Keaton will be. I think Keaton will be a cameo. You know, I have respect for Keaton. You know, he's from Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh. I think Ben Affleck's going to have a bigger role than you think.
I think it'll be more of a Bruce Wayne. I don't know if he'll put on the suit. Honestly,
I think he will. I mean, I think he's going to build the suit for him. I think we're going to see. You know, we might see this Ben Affleck and Thomas Wayne's spot for Flashpoint type thing.
you know,
At least that's what I'm thinking.
my thing is they talk about
from what they talked about, Ben Affleck's role is more like to Ezra. He's the original Batman because he's the Batman that Ezra knows that. So if he goes to another Earth and sees Keaton, like, he's not his Batman. He's
So Ezra's like us. You know, Ben is our Batman.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not holding my hopes for anything grandioso. So I just look at it's going to be kind of like a cameo, and it's going to be more of just Ben being Bruce Wayne. Like, I'm not expecting him to like don the suit because once again, this is Flash's movie, and I don't want, I don't want another character to be why I'm into this movie.
Right, and that seems to be what always happens to kind of the Flash. Like, I don't know why they think so many of the other characters have to be part of the story. Like, in the animated universe, we haven't got a straight up Flash movie. You know, we had to have Flashpoint. They're always something else. I want the focus to be on Ezra's Flash. But
Barry Allen was the heart of the New Frontier.
touche.
Haha.
That one. Well, and Martian Manhunter, but whatever.
It's just like it's kind of like Flashpoint, the animated film, is what do you call it? A Flash movie, but at the same time, it still has everybody else in it, and I would prefer just Flash, like just a fun Flash only. Like, I don't mind like a small thing.
Flash versus the Rogues, not necessarily having to bring other characters in.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's going to be. I think that they're announcing that these characters are going to be in it because it's a big deal, but I have a feeling that it's going to be focused on the Flash and whoever or whatever he's dealing with, that the other characters are going to be cameos. I don't think that the overall narrative is going to revolve around them. It's going to revolve around Barry, around Ezra's Flash.
Sign me up, bro. Completely cool with it.
That's how I feel it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be that way.
And, we've talked about before how they'll use things in name alone. Now, I do have, so they were kind of goofing and said something, and it just kind of stuck with me. You know who imagine this, casting Nicolas Cage as Eobard Thawne.
Yeah, that would be, I saw you put that in your notes. That would be awesome.
I was like, he's crazy enough and likable enough, obsessed enough. Like, I don't know. Like, ever since like they were talking about like the Flash, he meets Nicolas Cage. Like, no, actually, like and they were just joking, and I just kind of like stuck with me. And I was like, man. Plus, I've been watching, whatever happened to Superman Lives, the death of Superman Lives.
Yeah.
And I just had
That'd be
Nicolas
interesting
Cage.
if that's their idea, and they were just kind of joking with the idea of meeting Nicolas Cage. But that would be funny if that's the idea that they want Nicolas Cage as Eobard Thawne.
I think he would be perfect and great, as Eobard Thawne. Because you want Thawne to be a little, like, unhinged.
Right.
So, that's my 2 cents on casting right there. But, so that's what we got for, the Flash. Which that's cool. Like, once they start shooting, it's just even acknowledging the Flash like this lets you know that the movie is moving ahead in some way. Compared to like, I don't think we'll ever get the Cyborg movie just because of I don't know how kosher Ray Fisher is with everybody since a lot of stuff, but whatever. So.
Well, maybe, hopefully his character is a hit in the upcoming Snyder's Justice League, and, HBO Max sees the worth in the character from that, and we get that moving forward.
I would love it. I mean, honestly, I would love that just because he's a character I'm really waiting to see. But all right, so the next major panel was the Suicide Squad, which was cool because it was hosted like by James Gunn himself, like no mediator, moderator, or other just host. And first of all, it was just cool. He was talking and exciting. We got to see the cast; they all were there. See who they're playing. A lot of characters I'm not familiar with, but you know what? That's kind of the fun of the Suicide Squad. We got like
and so many characters look so comic accurate. It's amazing.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Like so comic accurate. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. And of course, Sean Gunn is playing a weasel.
Yeah.
He's playing Weasel. Like, he doesn't even talk. His name's Weasel. He doesn't talk.
It's perfect. I love how James is like, people could be making a reboot for the Suicide Squad, and they can go with the typical, Deadshot, Harley, Boomerang, Bronze Tiger, yada. But he just like looks through comic histories. He's like, what's the craziest thing that I can put in here? Like, I would love if they make a sequel to this and he throws in Condiment King or something, like something ridiculous, or Crazy Quilt. I'm really happy that he got Polka Dot Man. What's that?
He could do it.
Absolutely. Like, he's picking all these characters that like really don't have much powers. They're just like throwaway old Batman villains. But personally, for me, I really, really thought that Idris Elba was going to be Bronze Tiger. But with him being Bloodsport, that might even be more interesting.
I was a little disappointed that he wasn't Bronze Tiger.
That really is perfect for him. It is. You're right. Yeah.
Like that was like one of those things that they. I was just kind of like, oh, really? Like, he's not? Like, it was a little bit of a bummer.
I'm sure he's excited to do something different than what Bronze Tiger would have afforded him.
And I thought about that too, so I get it.
This way with a character like that, he's probably got the opportunity to just play this ruthless killing kind of character.
So I'm excited, for it. But it was like I said, it was just kind of a little bit of a shocker, just because I was like, man, really?
That's who I was expecting.
And what made me happy though? King Shark. King Shark is going to be in it.
Did you notice that the freaking that mock-up or whatever, like King Shark was like smiling, like it's like Ron Funch's King Shark from Harley Quinn.
Dude, they did not. Okay, I want them to get him for the voice, because they did not announce an actor for King Shark. They showed us the actor who was on set, who did all the mocap work and everything for King Shark, but they have not cast someone to voice.
That would be hilarious.
King Shark. So, yeah, I would love for them to just kind of like pull that out and be like, he's voicing King Shark. Because I would lose my jump.
Oh yeah, that would be so hilarious.
But that was one that, because he was one of those characters that I heard was supposed to be in this, but we never had anything confirmed. Some of them we kind of knew and were confirmed, but
yeah, they didn't really confirm a whole lot of the characters up until this point. Like, they literally kept the exact casting choices down. Like, nobody knew Sean Gunn was playing Weasel.
Yeah, we just knew, like, Sean Gunn made me think that maybe he was King Shark, or just because Sean Gunn usually does just a lot of mocap.
The Peter Capaldi as the Thinker, I think that maybe was thrown around, but Bloodsport was definitely not.
Nope. John Cena is Peacemaker.
Yeah. It said if he's Captain America but much douchier.
And he's like, all right, I got this.
Yeah.
Can we just acknowledge how beautiful and perfect the Harley Quinn costume is? Like, this
my God, yeah.
This is the third movie of Harley Quinn, and I understand the way it worked in Birds of Prey, because it was just like her clothes that she was stuck wearing, But seriously, like, this Harley Quinn costume looks awesome. Why can't we have gotten that in the Suicide Squad? Because I hate her costume in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us a glimpse at the Jester costume, which was great.
Well, that scene, like, maybe in the extended cuts, are like a beat or two longer, because you see her pull out like a couple of other things that allude to some of her other, or maybe it was a behind the scenes thing I saw, because when she's going through her chest, like, she pulled out something that was more reminiscent of her New 52 costume and stuff. Like, it was a little bit more kind of paying tribute to all the different Harley stuff.
Right.
And I always said, like, her costume from, was it Assault on Arkham, would have been perfect.
Well, I mean, DC Warner Brothers at least still was hesitant about going so just diving headfirst into comic lore and everything like that. And it seems like that's certainly going out the window, especially with James Gunn here.
And
for Suicide Squad.
I feel like, okay, if I can remember correctly, when Walter Hamada was taking over, the first project on his agenda or was his responsibility was Aquaman, if I remember correctly.
That was in production before, or at least pre-production before Justice League had come out and everything.
Because if I remember everything correctly, Walter Hamada had nothing to do with like Justice League. That was Kevin Tsukahara or whatever. So with Hamada coming in, I think, and like I said, I'm pretty sure
Aquaman was still coming off of the heels of the previous regime. Like Hamada was in his position during the final stages of production and everything for Aquaman, but it had come off from the previous.
Because because Hamada, like a little behind the scenes thing, Hamada had come from like working more New Line and helped oversee like the Conjuring films and stuff like that, which of course where did James Wan, he went on, he did Aquaman, and then James Wan worked with David Sandberg, who did Shazam, and then now Warner Brothers is pulling in another horror director, Muschietti, for Flash. So it's like with Aquaman, it just felt like that's kind of where they started to get comic booky and kind of really get their focus. And we've only had Aquaman, Shazam, and Birds of Prey. And then we'll get and even Wonder Woman.
We're supposed to have Wonder Woman, but
even Wonder Woman feels like it's more comic book. Her costume feels brighter and everything, and but yeah, so
That's not a Birds of Prey movie. It's a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah,
don't call it Birds of Prey. It's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I mean you're right. Like,
you didn't write it. You didn't title it. They titled it Birds of Prey, but
the fabulous emancipation of yet one Harley Quinn.
Well, they did wrong.
So, anyways, so the next part of that is, crap, where am I going to go? The trailer was cool because it was like a very behind the scenes trailer. We saw things, but we didn't see much because it was mixed in with like shots of the movie actually being filmed. We didn't really see much of like final like a trailer, so that was just really neat because even Solomon called it more like a documentary. I had props to my son for pulling that one out.
We did get to see actually in it though a shot of Weasel behind glass, so that is a finished shot.
And we saw King Shark really quick, like he's going to bite someone's head off. So yeah, it was quick, and it was awesome. Like I thoroughly enjoyed just the vibe, the chemistry, and like Gunn talking about working on this film, how much fun he's had. It's the biggest film that he's done. I have over here in my notes, it talks about it has a very gritty 70s war movie style to it. Now, the only thing I can say about this film that with Gunn, I can see the dark humor in it. The only people I think that are going to make it for sure is going to be Harley Quinn, Waller, and Flag. I don't think anyone else is safe. They're going to, because being the Suicide, they have to kill off some people. Like, that was like the funniest scene in Suicide Squad was Slipknot, dying.
Yeah.
So, and the thing.
Yeah, they pretty much made the squad so small, so quote unquote small in the first one, with all of the characters being like important and getting you emotionally invested. Like you didn't think that many of them were going to die after that, and none of them did. But this one here, like, it's such a huge team. Like you don't expect, you expect a handful of them to bite it.
Yes, I figure he'll probably kill off Michael Rooker just because they have like a long-term like relationship, and probably.
Oh yeah, he's worked on every movie he's ever done.
So is Fillion.
Yeah.
So I figure those two will probably get killed. But yeah, I love that they brought back Flag and Waller, because as long as you have those two, you can do it however you want, and it can still be considered continuity, because that's the beauty of the Suicide Squad. Is you can literally have.
But this is probably a story that the squad is going that a government team like this being forced to do this would actually do, as opposed to fighting a freaking magic being.
Yeah. Let's not even go there, because we all know that that's what it's supposed to be. And I'm going to predict right now that next fall we might get the air cut. That's I know we're going to get it either next year or in 2022. But yeah, I'm just keeping that pretty close to the chest here, but I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Like a Phil Collins song.
Right.
So, boys, this is
Tyler.
The
part where we might tear up.
This movie's coming very soon, though. Like, because Suicide Squad was done with their filming, and it's in post right now. Like, so this movie's going to be coming out, and I mean, just no matter how the climate is, the world change. Like, theater's going to be open. Like, this movie's coming out like next year, and the Batman should be back into production now.
Yes, but
they should be back to filming in the UK.
We watched the new documentary of Suicide Squad.
That is the new trailer, documentary, little behind the scenes. Good call, buddy. Of the Suicide Squad. Who did you see that got you excited?
King Shark.
King Shark's gonna be in the movie. Who'd you see, Sayla?
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, huh?
And there's like a video that shows everybody and the movie. Right,
Yeah.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the next thing we have to talk about is it's pretty tough. You know, it brought me to tears. I don't know about you guys. What about you guys?
I welled up.
Yeah?
Look up in the sky.
Look up in the sky.
Look in the sky.